Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly reading, the intuitive card reading for April 22nd through 28th. First of all, guys, before I get into my spiel, how is everybody doing this month? Because I have my ups and downs, but I have to tell you, I believe in the monthly reading. I said something about shadow work and the things we don't like about ourselves coming up, our toxic traits, things we shame ourselves about, hate about ourselves coming up. Boy, oh boy, has that been very prevalent for me. So let me know down below if that has been happening for you guys or any updates at all about any of these readings. That would be great. So any of that down below, as well as feedback. Just be kind is all I ask. All right, what else is the spiel? Okay, so like this video, share it with anybody that needs to hear the energies for the week. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. And that's it. Thank you guys for being here. Let's jump right into it. Last week was a little long, so let's just begin. Okay. Oh yeah, same 4 decks, shuffled, of course. Different order. Okay, what do we need? Soulmates. Aw, how sweet. I always love that there's penguins on there. Okay, so we've been getting this here and there in the monthlies and the weeklies, possibly even the yearly. By the way, guys, it's always a good idea. I think I'm going to rewatch the monthly, right? So sometimes I do the beginning, even if it's the weekly, the beginning of the week and then the end of the week, so I can kind of really piece things together. So don't forget, there's also a yearly. So if you guys want to do like a check-in, we're at month 4, so a quarterly check-in or so. You can do that too. Okay, anyway, so we've been getting this here and there, monthlies, weeklies, yearlies. So that we need to be around more like-minded people, because that's what soulmates are, right? It doesn't actually have to be romantic, can be, obviously. But we need that partnership. Like we're calling for, and my vocabulary, as I heal and my brain gets a little bit better, I will dive deep into this, but sometimes into my vocabulary, but to find a better word for this, because sometimes I say soulmate relationships are easy. No relationship is really easy. They're all work, right? So if you want relationships to sustain and do well and be healthy, you have to put in some work, right? And that's the nature of relationships, because you're in a relationship with another human being, or even a pet, with another soul, right? But they tend to be a little bit smoother, is maybe a better word. They more simpatico, meaning that you guys are kind of on the same page. They tend to trigger you, but in a positive way, if that makes sense. So we need that. We need this companionship of feeling like we're not alone, that we're on the same page as somebody else, that we're thinking about the same things. Like-minded people is really what we need here. So let's just keep moving on and see what else the reading has in store for us. Action needed, we have music. Okay, so interesting. This is basically saying it doesn't have to be specific, guys. These are oracle cards, and anybody that's new, hi, I read oracle cards. As you can see, there are you will see there are no tarot cards here. Okay, so music, creativity, art, anything along those lines. Doesn't have to be just music. Some of you guys obviously will be called to more music back, but action needed is saying we need to be more creative. We need to do things more for fun. We need to do things to get out of our heads. We need to do things to help stimulate those creative juices, our imagination, etc., etc. So do something this week for sure, pretty point blank. Some of these are kind of straightforward too, even if they're not literal. Just do something along those lines. Go to a concert, listen to a new album, etc., etc. So do whatever you need to do to stir up those creative juices. Not too much more to say on that. Issue. Okay, what do we got issues with this week? Okay, we have night in the shadow. We always get night. Night has been coming up a lot, and even in my personal readings too. Allegiance to a destructive ruler or principle of romantic delusions. Okay, so, oops. God, my sleeves are really long. All right, so we have night in the shadow. So basically, sometimes night can be similar to like the rescuer card. I think a lot of people associate night with like, a knight in shining armor, like somebody kind of coming in and helping you, in a more honorable way with integrity, etc. So, and doing quote unquote what's right. So the fact that it's upside down is telling me that, sorry, I hear something kind of going on in the next apartment. Sorry, I live in New York City, so we're on top of each other, but hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Yeah, hopefully you guys can hear me okay. So we're doing things for, the way that I'm interpreting this energy is like, it's almost like we're doing things not necessarily for the greatest good, or we're doing things that are not necessarily, the intention behind it is positive or well intentioned. And the fact that it's under issue, it's basically saying that we're gonna have issues with this. Like, to cut this short and try to make it as succinct as possible, just be careful with the things that motivate you this week, and that you're doing it for the quote unquote right reasons. And that you're not doing it because somebody is telling you to do it, or because somebody's asking you to do it. But you're and this is coming up intuitively. You guys know it's called the intuitive card reading for a reason. I read intuitively. You're not supposed to necessarily save somebody, and this is general guidance, honestly. Spirituality 101. Saving people from their own karma, saving people from their own lessons. We can't be doing that. So if you feel like you need to kind of step in and the intentions aren't necessarily for a more positive reason, or you feel like you need to interfere or even kind of enable, is sort of, that's like a little bit strong of a word coming through with this, but just be careful, because it just feels like it'll blow up in your face. Again, I'll come up with better vocabulary as I heal, but blow up in your face, go haywire, go in the wrong direction, that kind of thing. So it doesn't feel like we're saving anybody. We're actually just making things worse. That's the feeling that I'm getting. So this could be about a particular issue anywhere in your life, relationships, career, anything. Challenge, we have medicine, mother, honor your inner knowing. Okay, so this could be part of that as well, because our inner knowing is our claircognizance. It's one of the intuitive gifts that are a little strange, because it's kind of like, how do you know what you know, but you just know. And so we need to honor that. So the challenge is listening to that this week. So a lot of you guys are going to get a lot of inner knowings, and just know things and just act on it is a good way to kind of put this, because Spirit is asking us to do that. That we really need to, we don't need evidence all the time. Sometimes we just know what we know, and you have to trust that, essentially, right? So there's a little bit of like trust stuff kind of coming up there. Change to the sea. Okay, yay. Okay, so things are going to definitely be a little bit more in alignment. Things are definitely going to flow a lot more. We have the 7 to the sea. That just means basically alignment and things flowing. So things are definitely going to be, that makes sense, because soulmates is that type of energy, right? Is more of that flow energy, that in line, you're in alignment with a soulmate, right? You're like on the same page, essentially, right? Like it's not forceful. It's not, you're not forcing relationships. So the fact that it's under change, everything is going to seem to be going a lot smoother. This is great. A lot smoother, and more in alignment, and, lots of synchronicities always accompany this. So, not necessarily angel numbers, even though some of you guys have comments saying that you've been seeing a lot, myself as well. All of them almost, 77, 88, 66, 222, everywhere, 555, that kind of thing. So, and 1111, I've been seeing a lot. So that's great. Yes, in alignment for sure. They all individually mean certain things, but the fact that you're seeing them at all is wonderful. But this means that things are going to line up for you, right? If you've been looking for a job for like a really long time, being in alignment could be landing a job that really feels in alignment. Like it feels like that's exactly where you wanted to go in life. That's exactly what you wanted to be doing. That's exactly like, and even if you don't even know, right? I know it's next to the knowing, but maybe a job opportunity comes to you and you don't know if it's the right, you never dreamt of it, for example, but your inner knowing is saying, no, I know that this is going to be a good opportunity. I'm going to go with it. So alignment all the way. And that's amazing because it feels like we're forcing things less. Okay, so let things flow this week is basically the consensus there. Focus. What do we need to focus on? Fragility. Okay, so this is about sensitivity, handle with care, not being frivolous with our time, with our energy, with ourselves, okay, with other people's feelings. So focus on that. I definitely do feel like it's more pertaining to more of our emotional state. So definitely focus on doing whatever you need to do to feel emotionally okay, to feel emotionally free, to feel emotionally stable, to feel, emotionally regulated, whatever. Okay. So, I definitely do feel like there's some sensitivity kind of going on here. So we need to really focus and make sure our, we're in a good spot, focus on our emotional wellness. So that's good to know. What do we need to reflect on here? Midas, miser, entrepreneurial or creative ability to turn anything to gold, delight in sharing life's riches. Okay, cool. So this one is, we have, this is an abundance card. Okay, it might not look at it because miser is a negative, it is oftentimes viewed as a negative, but it came in the light. So basically this is saying, like, this is like a perfect example of like turning a hobby into something lucrative financially. So it's a good week for that. So I don't know how many, I know that's kind of specific, but it's almost like taking a skill that you have and turning it into gold, basically. And even if it doesn't come with financial abundance, it could come with abundance in general, like prosperity abundance, like, getting your foot in the door, an opportunity, a person, right? Could be like the gateway to how a soulmate kind of comes in, or more like-minded people, but just feels like turning a skill into something, and you're like that turns into something very lucrative, but you're very lucrative in general is what I'm trying to say. This is actually, I can't wait to see what's in money and finances, but it's looking like and feeling like it's a good financial week, that your financial prospects are opening up. Like there are doors that are opening up that, and your creativity. So that makes sense why we need to be more creative. How could you make more money is kind of the question. We're under reflect. So this is a good reflect question. How can I use my talents and my skills to create more abundance, to get more, to get ahead, to fulfill my desires, to move ahead, to pay this bill, whatever it actually is, because there's something here that's hidden that we're not necessarily seeing. And maybe if it's not hidden, it's just something that we haven't necessarily felt like we could get paid for. There's something here with that, okay? And it's coming through really, really strong. So you guys are flexible. You guys are resourceful. So use those skills this week to figure this out, because like I said, it's coming through very strong. Responsibilities. We have summer, bask in joy and light. Okay, here's another one. Have fun. Okay, have fun. Be in the light. Be in your joy. Okay, I mentioned a concert earlier. Okay, I personally don't like concerts, but I'm a weird one, I know. And it doesn't have to be a concert. Like I said, something that can spark creativity, something that can spark joy, something that can spark fun. Like basically Spirit is asking us to move more into this lighthearted energy, and that's our responsibilities. Like don't forget to have fun this week, okay? That could be, it's coming after the Midas miser card. You could also have fun with what you're doing. You can also find something that, like, it might be unbelievable that you can make money from this because it's so fun. It doesn't feel like work or, whatever. But the fact that it's coming under responsibility says you have to make time for this week. This has to be kind of like a priority in a way. I love that, right? Have more fun, guys. Yeah, just, there's not too much more I can say about that. Now, money and finances. Happy. What did I say? What did I say, guys? I knew it. It's good week for money. Ooh, I love it. It's a good abundant week. I love it. Happy. Okay, abundance, being happy. There's not too much more I can say about this. It just feels like a very lucrative. And again, if we're not talking, like if your bank account, for example, is not larger this week, this could be pertaining to abundance in general. So it could be opening doors for you to make money down the road kind of deal. So don't focus and fixate so much on the numbers, okay? This is more about the prosperity of it. So get into that feeling of that, right? So, get into that, leave that lack mindset behind, basically. Because it definitely, like I said, feels like a really good money week. There's not too much more I could say there. I put career under here, so could be something really positive happening at work. But like I said, I just see you being really happy. There's not too much more I could say. All right, let's move on. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Okay, gratitude. Okay, so we're going to be surprised at how grateful we feel. Something tells me it has something to do with the abundance piece of this. This may have something to do with things becoming a lot more flowy in life, and more in alignment. So you're just very grateful that the cards seem to be lining up. Guys, so far, I know we still have 5 more to pull. I see nothing that's of concerning. I just see a little bit of the white knight thing kind of coming out and backfiring. But other than, and maybe us, challenging our, not challenging, maybe that is the word, challenging our inner knowing, not necessarily wanting to listen to it or move forward with it. But those aren't big things. It doesn't feel large. You guys know I usually talk about the energies being, whether they're minor or major, but it doesn't seem major. So those are the only snafus. And you guys know I think sensitivity is a superpower. So, doing your emotional work is not anything that's negative to me. So far, so good. So just had to check in there because you're going to this week is going to, it looks like the way that I'm reading this, it looks like the way the week is going is that it's going so well. We're just so overwhelmed and overcome with gratitude. And that's part of abundance, isn't it? Like getting into, I just mentioned letting go of that lack, what you don't have. Talk about what you do have. Be grateful for the things that are happening, but also the things that you already have. And if you're ready to, I'm not going to force this on anybody, but being grateful for the really crappy things that have happened to us. So you might be surprised at that something that was really bad, quote unquote bad or negative, that you are finding some type of gratitude for it this week. And that could shock you. Obviously, it's not a surprise. So, but I see it as like a positive surprise. Gratitude is just such a great vibration to get into, and it looks like we are. And you know what? I do want to just be very clear. I don't think it has something to do with, I think it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, right? I think we are overcome with gratitude, and that brings in the abundance. I don't know if the abundance, obviously it could be both, right? Because that's kind of like the chicken and the egg. That's the whole theory and behind it is it's kind of both. But to me, while we're doing our emotional work, try to hit on that gratitude, because like I said, that's a very high vibration, and that leads to, more abundance. But it seems like we do it because, again, there are 2 very big abundance cards kind of coming through, which seems to be the major energy here. So yeah, just be grateful, and the abundance will come. The abundance comes, be grateful. Okay, so both. All right. Upside down destroyer in the shadow with our friends. Intoxication with destructive power, destroying others' dreams or potential. Okay, watch out for, man, I spoke too soon, but it's still not terrible. But it definitely does feel like destroying other people's dreams or potential. This feels like it could be to us, right? Where there's somebody out there that might be crushing your dream or trying to bring down your vibration, okay? So that might be a challenge, okay? I know we had some challenge, we had the challenge corner up there, but this has to do with our friends. So it's specifically talking about people that we're surrounding ourselves with. Or we could accidentally do it to other people. Okay, so I just want you to pay attention to this card and the Knight, because again, that energy from that Knight is kind of like this idea of trying to step into somebody else's business and trying to do, do what's right, quote unquote, or trying to take over or trying to save them or something like that, and that could blow up in your face, which is what I said. So this destroyer, right, there's a literal volcano on this card, okay? So this is basically saying, like, just be careful. Again, this is kind of like a second warning where it's like you're stepping in to, you know, now it's getting more specific because it's under the friends section over here. So it's saying stepping in and trying to take over or do what's best for them. You know, people, you have to trust that people know what's best for them, or that they are, you know, they have to learn their own mistakes, and they have to be on their own journey, like that kind of thing. So that could also be talking to them. Like I said, that night energy kind of feels connected, okay? So, but it, and so how it's related to what this is saying like, you may feel like they're self-imploding. You may feel like they're destroying their lives. You may feel like they are making mistakes, but you have to stay out of it. You still have to stay out of it because it's their path. Okay, so that's really what this is saying. So it could be twofold. So again, there's that second warning with that Knight card, you know, piggybacking off of that Knight card. So just be careful. But this is also another indication that we do need to be around more soulmate type friends, and be around more like-minded people in general, whether it's romantic or friend-wise, but we're on the friend section here. And so basically being around people that don't want to destroy your dreams, that are not, you know, and I'm talking about intentionally, right? You know, out to get you, or manipulative, or fake friends or something like that. So just watch out for that. That was an interesting one. Okay. Romantic connection, we have drum, dream, and journey. Okay, so this is really about kind of like manifestation, really thinking about your desires and then seeing how you can achieve them, seeing the bigger picture, right? And yeah, manifesting it for sure. So the fact that it's under romantic connection, this is kind of like you need to be able to see the bigger picture in your romantic life. This could be an indication of really planning ahead about where you want to go romantically. If you want to get married, for example, are you with somebody, you know, it might be a good time to check in this week. Are you with somebody that you can see yourself doing that with? Are you and your partner on the same page, etc., etc.? If you're single, are you dating intentionally? Are you, you know, what kind of people are you dating? What are you seeking? Are you being clear about what you want up front, etc., etc.? Where do you want to go? You know, why are you dating, right? Because by the way, guys, not everybody dates to get married, okay? People date for connection. People date for out of loneliness, and they're not all positive, but there's anybody that's ever been on a dating app knows this, that not everybody's on there for a serious relationship, okay? If that's, so basically Spirit is saying is, if that's something that you really dream about and something that you really want, you know, then you have to really kind of check in this week and really see, you know, if you're tied in with somebody, in a romantic relationship, are you both going there? And then if you're dating, are you meeting people that will go on this journey with you, etc. So this is really about the journey. And then, like I said, this manifesting energy is coming through because this is like peak time to like manifest that, right? If it's a quiet week, for example, on the dating apps, like start doing some manifestation work around the type of person that you kind of like want to bring in, that, you know, after you've really figured out, you know, where you want to go. So this also too has this thing of clarity. So watch out for the inner knowing, because again, this one feels connected as well, because you know what you want, okay, in romantic connection, in partnership, in a relationship. So keep that with you while you're doing this, after everything I just said. Remember to honor your inner knowing, okay? And the fact that it's under challenge is going to be challenging for you. So, guys, I'm telling you, it is challenging. It is. So many of you guys have told me over the years, not the last few years because I've been kind of MIA, but before that, so many times you guys have said, I don't understand the inner knowing. I don't, you know, it's such a weird thing that kind of comes up, and it's really hard to listen to. And I get it. It's really, it's one thing for like a feeling to manifest as like, like a stomach ache or, something like that. But knowing is just, it's more cognitive. So it is, it's a tricky one is basically what I'm trying to say. So there's a lot of trusting that inner knowing this week. All right, what's important? Change in the wind. I believe we got this one last week too. So things are changing, okay? Yes, we did, because I remember when I titled the video, I'm like, okay, this is definitely, I'm gonna put change on here because that's really the overarching energy that came through the reading. So it's important to know that things are still changing, okay? So things are changing, and I definitely feel fast, and I think I got that last week. So even though it feels like you're in a transition, and that maybe it is taking some actual human time, it's changing who you are, like on a soul level. It's very weird to say things are happening very slow, but you're changing very fast. Don't come for me for saying that, but that's how the energy is coming through. So it's important to remember that, I guess. Don't kill the messenger, okay? All right, health and wellness. Courage. Okay, so this is really about conquering fear, okay? It's been a while that we had a card around this, but conquering fear, being courageous, doing the thing that you're afraid to do. The fact that it's under health and wellness tells me that, again, health and wellness could be spiritual health, could be mental health, could be emotional health. Remember, we have a focus here on emotional health, okay? So our sensitivity coming through, feeling like we are vulnerable, okay? That's all these things that really fall under fragility. So having the courage to tackle that is something good. So be brave, okay? Be brave in feeling your feelings and being vulnerable and, tackling. I said in the very beginning of this reading, a lot of shadow stuff has been coming up, okay? So much that I don't even know what to do with it, okay? It's so much. And that's emotional work, okay? So, I mean, it's mental work too, but it's and spiritual work, obviously. So, it's the trifecta, but it definitely does feel like we need to just be brave and courageous and really face those things that are kind of coming up. Yeah, there's not too much more I can say about that. Overall outcome, what do we got going on? We have Hermit and Reverse. Withdraws from society out of fear or negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. Okay, I think we got Hermit a while back. Did we get this a while back? Possibly. Anyway, the way that it's coming up here is, under overall outcome, is we're not necessarily isolating for positive reasons, because a lot of the times we can isolate for introspection, awakenings, time to ourselves, self-awareness, all of those things, and that's a really positive thing. But as you can see, actually, the reflect card is more of a doing, right? And that's very odd for coming through with the reflect, because it's usually mostly introspective. But this is basically saying that we are isolating just to isolate. And if we've been going through a journey that has been a little bit more isolating or introspective, or spending more time to ourselves, Spirit is saying that's not working anymore. Okay, that's kind of part of what's changing, is that we need to be more out into the world, right? The way that I look at it, guys, is like the change that's kind of coming through is like it's almost like I've been saying this for so long, the old life and the new life. It's like you need to start doing things that incorporate the new life, okay? So you need to be out in the world as the new person that you are, That's what it's kind of saying, and this is the start of it, okay? The fact that it's coming in at the last card doesn't mean that it's, dip your feet into it, maybe go to one event, or, maybe try to meet. And again, we need to be around more like-minded people, so we actually have to be in their presence, okay? So, you know, baby steps is totally fine, is what Spirit is trying to say here, so don't, you know, freak out. But it's going to be really positive for us, and we can't necessarily use, you know, what we've been going through as an excuse anymore. That's what I'm kind of getting for this, is like, we have to be brave. I love that it's next to the courage, and really start to put ourselves out there a little bit more, okay? So yeah, I see that as a positive, honestly. So guys, altogether, really great week. Like I said, there's like a couple of things here that I wouldn't even label as red flags. I would label them as like pink flags, if that. But overall, like I said, the abundance stuff is coming through, even though it's only a couple of cards. I know manifestation was here in the romantic connection, so maybe we can count that. But it definitely does feel like more flow, more abundance, connecting with more like-minded people, and just like, again, trying to move into this change, moving into it in a way that's it's flowing and it doesn't feel forced, right? So this change is naturally happening, and that's really positive. So it's the start of it, and like I said, it is positive. So okay, guys, have a wonderful week. I'll see you next week, and then we have the monthly coming up as well. So I usually post that maybe the last day of the month, so look out for that. And if you guys subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to see, I believe you could just subscribe, not necessarily hit notifications as well, but hit that notification bell anyway, so you can be notified for the monthly. But I've talked enough. Guys, have a wonderful, blessed week, and I will see you next week. Bye.